Hey, what's up, ETC Network? We have a really cool opportunity right now. We're actually meeting up with Michael Mosiman, who is a professional Supercross rider, and he rides for Gas, and it's gonna be an amazing time. We met up with him a couple years back. He used to come to Swap Ministry back in the day, if you know what that is, and we reconnected with him at one of the races that was happening in Anaheim, and so he said he's down to do a little interview and say what's up to us. So we're actually driving to one of the practice tracks right now, and then we're gonna just ask him a couple questions and see what he's up to. So let's go ahead and do it.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. What's up, Michael?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Quite good.
Yeah?
Quite good, yeah.
Thanks for joining us
great.
today. I feel like that felt so formal. Hi. What's your name?
Hi, pleasure to meet you.
Michael.
Hey.
Hi. What's up?
What's going on?
I'm so glad we're here today.
I am glad as well. You know,
Where are we at?
We are at the TLD test track, Trolley Designs test track. I was here yesterday spinning laps.
Nice.
And today we are here having conversations.
Yeah, just talking life.
Yeah, well, I love it because I was right there, you know, yesterday doing work, and now we're talking about Jesus, which is like
the
love
worlds
to
are
mix
colliding.
the two.
I love that. Super rad. Well, again, we're so glad that you could join us today for our ETC network. So just to kind of jump in, I would love to hear a little bit about just how you got started in racing.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been professional since 2017.
Hey,
Research.
Research.
But besides like becoming professional, what did the years before that look like for you?
Yeah, great question. So I started riding when I was 3. My brother was 6. He got a bike.
Training wheels?
Training wheels. Okay. Yeah, it was humble beginnings. I think we had rain boots for boots, and and it kind of just started there. And then I didn't really want to do anything else. It was like no more t-ball, no more soccer, you know, little league, any of that,
Mm-hmm.
and. It just kind of took off from there.
Mm-hmm.
Became a family sport for us. You know, my brother and I racing. I think I was, 5 or 6 years old, and we had a motorhome, and we're going down the road.
Oh, heck yeah. Where did you guys used to go?
Well, I think it was 6 or something, and we went to Tennessee for all the way from California to Tennessee. So, traveling at a young age, and motocross has, brought me a lot of places, taught me a lot of lessons from a young age. When you're, grown up and I'm 13 and got sponsorships and can make money. It's like, what? This is weird. You're not supposed to be able to do this. And it's like there's rewards and penalties if you lose, or not penalties, but just everyone's kind of bummed at you.
It's a lot of responsibility for a young age, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And it helped me grow up a lot quicker and mature a lot faster. And but anyways, I was grew up in a semi-Christian home. My mom was Christian. My dad was somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was, it's like maybe he would come to church, but he would make sure we were late so we missed the worship kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
And anyways, and then I think 2016, I started spending more time in Southern California.
Yeah.
I started going to a church. It was super practical, and it was like, what? The Bible has relationship advice? Crazy. All right. I'll put that away. I'll use that sometime, And then it's like, what? Bible has financial advices? This is weird. It actually applies.
Maybe I'll keep reading this, right?
And so it just really started there, and and then obviously racing. It was all a mixture there. Somewhere around 2016, 2017, actually, January 2017 is really when I started committing myself to following God, following Christ, and also was when I went pro.
Right.
So it was a crazy time indeed.
Wow, that's a lot of huge blessings at once, I feel like, too, because you're like, yes, Lord, I'm here. And then also, look what you're doing with my life and meeting him in the middle of that.
No, it was, there was definitely, a lot of hard times, a lot of injuries. I think some of my worst injuries were before I even went pro. And,
Okay.
there's a lot, tough times where just hey, you're going to be pro and, have a ride. And, and then it was oh, nope, you're injured and you're not going to get a deal. And, there's just times where a lot was weighing in the balance. And then one of the big steps of my walk was immediately after. So I started just inching along with my faith. You know, I wouldn't say I was walking yet, and I certainly wasn't running.
Yeah.
But somewhere around there, 2017, it was like, okay, like I'm gonna start walking a little bit. And anyways, I raced 4 professional races. Crashed out at the 4th round.
Wow.
My shoulder needed surgery before I even entered the series,
Yeah.
but then it really needed surgery.
Now it's like, we're going to schedule this surgery.
And every night
Mm-hmm.
I would pray before the race, God keep me safe, but more importantly, keep my heart safe.
Yes.
And knowing that, you know, being a Christian doesn't guarantee me, you know, perfect circumstances, but ultimately he'll have my heart. And so, yeah, I was laid up without a job. I only had an outdoors only contract. And
okay.
It was like, I have 4 professional races to my name, not even a half a series, and who knows what's going to be with my future. And but I just had a certain peace about it, and it was like, God's going to work it out. And that was really when I started growing and running, because my schedule got completely wiped out. And the worst injury I've ever had, you know, the most uncertainty in my career, right after some of the biggest blessing in my career, and just early in my walk, and it was like really a time of testing.
Yeah,
and,
it sounds like it.
And it ended up just being the biggest blessing in my life, because it began to walk with God and just grow to see that there's way more to life than dirt bikes.
So you had mentioned like when in 2017 when you were starting to like inch into your faith and stuff, what did that kind of look like? Were there specific people? Were there conversations? Like how did the Lord kind of tug on your heart?
With racing, I was always very dedicated from a young age. I think I was 13, and I said, I'm going to do away. I don't need any sweets, any soda, any candy pie for, you know, birthdays, Christmas, nothing.
Yeah. So
and
sad.
I'm just going to give it up. And then at the end of my season, 2 weeks out of the year, I'm just going to go nuts.
Okay.
And and that was me. And so from a young age, I kind of was like, that's when I was like, all right, I'm really going to do this thing. Most motocross racing, professional motocross racer types are definitely in the past. It's changing a little bit now, but we're more on the wild side, right?
Yeah.
And so the girls that are getting involved in this is one thing,
Usually
right?
meet you in the same energy, right?
Yeah. So that's what I heard, is don't get involved with girls that ruin your career. I was like, all right, well, that's important to me. I'm going to not get involved with girls for like, I said 10 years into my professional career. I think I'm like 5 years into my career or something.
Yeah.
And I have a girlfriend, and she is wonderful.
Oh, you're like, I made it halfway. That's what counts.
No, and because believe it or not, so part of my story is, as I started going to that church, as I was telling you a little bit earlier, I started to see that, whoa, you could actually have a girl that helps you. And there's the verse in Ecclesiastes, and it talks about a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Ecclesiastes, wisdom literature book, and it's just this principle, right? This idea that, and he presented it is like, if you build a relationship, and you take 1 string, you pull it, you know, a certain amount, it's going to break. You take, you know, 2 strings, maybe it's, you know, you and the girl, and you twist it together, like, you know, at some point it's going to break. But there's something particularly strong about the cord of 3 strands. And so when you put your, you know, significant other and God in the center, there's something particularly strong about that. And that really resonated for me, because it was like, whoa, you're telling me that there's a way that I could like go into this and it not absolutely, you know, fall apart and destroy me and destroy others. And that was like, that's a big deal.
Right, because you hadn't heard that before. Everybody around you was like, no, run for the hills.
Exactly. Yeah. And so really it started there, and it was like, I saw God. Sorry, they're prepping the track here. They're making it good for us, you know, for the week. So, but my initial growing with God and my starting to inch towards Him, it really was. It was kind of just like a vehicle I saw of me growing towards God can help me to be a great guy for the future.
I love
right?
That, yeah.
But that's not like God wants to be wanted for Him. You know, he's not like, oh yeah, you know, come to me for all the things I give. It's like, yeah, those are a plus, but that's not what it's about.
Exactly.
You know, and so anyways, it started there, and that's when I started inching. And then my brother, he was growing a lot. He started growing really 6 months before I did. And anyways, then I started pursuing a girl in some ways, and I said, hey, I want to build a relationship around God, and I knew that she had like some sort of relationship with God, so that was like big plus for me. You know, one of the main reasons I was pursuing anyways. And pursuing, that wasn't even like in my lingo at the time, you know. My brother had invited me time and time again to this Bible study, and I never went. And I was always like, I don't know, you know. And I remember I was on the phone with her. I was like, hey, should I go to this Bible study? She was, and we weren't dating yet. She was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I was like, all right.
This sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like girls, they just have that influence, you know.
Right. Yeah, we have a lot of power.
Yeah, it's true. So that's kind of where it started. And as soon as I got going to that Bible study, it was like I didn't have a Bible. I remember I came in and I asked 2 questions, and those 2 questions were simple questions. You know, I had worn the title of a Christian my whole life, and you know, it might have been like, all right, you guys are talking about this grace stuff. Like, what is that? You know, something really simple.
Right.
And like, also like, you know, to go to a Bible study is one thing, but to partake is another thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for me, that step of partaking was, you know, it wasn't a small step. But when I did, it just opened up everything for me. And so asking questions and stuff just led to so much growth. And then I remember I walked out of the Bible study. I don't have a Bible. I'm like, this is this weird thing for me. And I remember we got like, you know, maybe a block down. I nudged my brother. I was like, I killed it. It's like,
I love that.
You know, and it's just, you know, funny. I mean, motocross mentality. I guess just trying to be excellent. Or all areas. But yeah. So, anyways, that's some of my story. It can be a long one. We could be here for 45 minutes.
I feel like our testimonies are really powerful in the way that like we get to share about God's grace, God's love, and the way He kind of walks us through. And it's so sweet too how you had mentioned like there's more to life than just like riding dirt bikes.
Oh my gosh.
There's more to life than, you know, being a designer, whatever kind of like career path we have. It's like, are we living for that? Are we living for the Lord? What's God teaching you right now?
Karate.
Are you really learning karate?
No.
Dang it. What's God teaching you right now?
So here's what God's been teaching me. I have this weird thing that I don't necessarily want to be famous. And my job, if I do really good at it, which I really want to do really good at it,
Right.
but like the result is like mild fame. So, but one of the things I've been learning is that if I'm focused on trying not to be famous, I'm focused on me. If I'm focused on being famous, I'm still focused on me. And the moment that I focus on just blessing whoever's near me, being, you know, showing God's grace, showing God's mercy, whatever it is, how can I like be a blessing to those around me? Then all of a sudden I'm not focused on me. And the other thing is, if I don't want to be famous, but my job is putting me in a position where I'm going to be famous, if I'm trying to control that, I'm worried about me. And if God wants me to be famous, I'm going to be famous no matter how hard I try against it. And if He wants me not to be famous, there isn't anything I can do to be famous. And so not worrying about my fame or not fame or my identity or how cool I am or am not, and just letting go and trying to serve people, it really has freed me because
I love that.
I'm like, I don't have to worry about this, and God will take care of that. I'll just be me, and whatever happens, happens.
I feel like I just learned a lot from that just now, even. Like, I think that's so huge of trying to not focus on what you're going to be and what you're not going to be, but just literally the Lord being that, right?
And it's not, and the thing is, it's like, sometimes it's like, a lot of times I find my friends and they're like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out God's will for my life, just trying to figure out God's will for my life, and they're praying and they're praying and they're praying, and there's like no movement. And someone wise once told me that they're like, it's a lot easier if there's a big boat in the bay, it's a lot easier to move that, to turn that boat if it's moving. And so if God wants to direct you, if you have some movement, He's going to be able to turn you one way or another. And sometimes the praying, asking God, what's your will for me? What's your will for me? It can be paralyzing. And you spent months or years not doing anything of substance. And it's like, no, let's focus on what He's already given.
Show up.
Let's focus on loving those near to you. Let's focus on unity. Let's focus on, you know, sharing the gospel. Let's focus on, you know, honoring our father and mother. It's like, man, that one's hard.
Yeah.
But anything that's really worth doing is hard.
I love what you said about like not just sitting and asking the Lord to pray. Hold for instruction. Have you ever done that before?
Not at that level, no.
Oh. Not just sitting there and praying, and I think that's so important because like we meet the Lord with prayer, but we also meet Him with actions and like stepping out, and God cares about us working hard and like showing up for Him, and He's gonna meet us there. And so I love that you brought that up because sometimes we're like, I don't hear from God, so I'm just gonna act like He's not here anymore. You know, we can shut down and we can paralyze ourselves, like you said. But if we're stepping out in faith and like trying things, and we're, like you said, sharing the gospel, we're reading our Bibles, we're part of this ministry, we're doing things for the kingdom, He's gonna give us everything else that we need.
Sometimes His call is wait.
Yeah, right?
And everyone else might be banging on your door saying, oh, go, get out. And it's like, man, a lot of times there's other times on the other opposite end where we may be doing too much and we're missing like just being with God. And that's something I fall into at times where it's like, you know, early on in my walk and still today it's been a struggle where I want to absolutely, like, just my mentality, I want to be great at whatever I do, and so I want to be great in serving the Lord.
Yes.
But sometimes it's like I find myself trying to earn His love. And then when I sit back and it's like, wait, I'm trying.
Yeah.
And then to realize I am loved.
There's nothing you can do to earn it, right? It's free.
It's free.
And that's crazy. That just, you know, it changes everything. Even if you just slow down, like how fast you talk.
Are you telling me I'm talking too fast?
No, I'm just realizing that now is the one step where it's like sometimes we're praying, we're not doing enough, and sometimes everyone's telling you to do more, and it's like you need to do less.
Yeah, it's a hard balance, and it's like this daily choice too to like check in with the Lord. What's today look like? Yeah,
because it's relationship, you know, and you know, in any great relationship, whether it's, you know, even, you know, earthly, it's like some days, you know, the chores need to be done, the bills need to be paid, and the, you know, kids need to be run to school or whatever. And other days, you guys just need to enjoy each other and go on a nice date.
Yeah, and rest and just be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's been probably oversaid, but we're not human doings; we're human beings.
I wish we had mics to just like mic drop on that right now, but drop. So, wrapping up today, do you have any final words of encouragement that you'd like to share with our students today?
Yeah, I would love to encourage your students. Hey, students, I hope you're, having an awesome day. One of the encouragements that I've been learning in my own life and that I want to share with you is that in some ways, when a lot of people are in this world right now having identity struggles, you know, where Instagram is just rampant, it's popular, and you know, we kind of build these shrines of ourselves, and it's all about taking care of our self-image, making sure it's a certain way, or, you know, I did this a lot in my younger years and still today, where I don't, like, I'll, like, intentionally not care and, like, you know, make my setup like, oh, look, I don't care about this stuff, when it's like, in fact, that's actually the thing I'm taking my identity from. Ultimately, my words of wisdom or encouragement is, in order to kind of help move past that, is to focus not on yourself, but on serving those around you. Focus on how can I bless to the, you know, utmost ability the person sitting next to me, the person in front of me, you know, the barista at the coffee shop, or whatever that is. And, you know, how fun of a life would it be if every moment you're just making it a game? How can I love this person beyond what they can believe? And maybe that is you go somewhere and you go to, you know, Denny's, somewhere where you know the people there need some help, you know, and you tip them $30, $100, you know, $20, whatever it is, you know, and write a little note of encouragement, and sign it in Jesus' name or something. I don't know. You know, maybe that looks like doing your brother or sister's laundry for them, even though they didn't ask for it. And then they see you and they're just like, wait, what did you do? Like, have you ever met some people where you do something nice for them and then they get like all uncomfortable? It's like, go after it. And there's ways to be great and awesome in little ways. And as soon as you focus your attention on caring for this person, caring for that person, how can I bless so-and-so, and living intentionally towards that direction, yourself fades into the background, which is exactly where Jesus wants it. And Jesus shines through brighter than ever.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. We're so grateful to have you here today, truly. We loved hearing your story, talking about things, doing life.
Appreciate that.
We're stoked. So thank you for today.
Yeah, thanks much. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Homie.
Oh. Do you want to know something I learned?
Yeah, what did you learn, Michael?
Something I learned recently is that the phrase drop a dime, you ever heard, oh, I'm going to drop a dime on you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was from when people would have pagers.
Okay.
Yeah. Pagers, I just found this out too. Apparently it was something you had with you, and then it would just buzz with a number.
Yes.
And so then you had to pull the car over and go to like a phone thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you dial in the number, but you had to put a dime in. So you would drop a dime on them. It's like, hey, I'm going to call you. I'll drop a dime on you.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they would take dimes primarily.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. I didn't know I know how pagers work, but I didn't know that was like what you got.
The process?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And then you
miserable.
just get